Hi, my name is Jonathan Culbertson, and I am the compliance manager at InCheck, a background screening company. Welcome to the December 2023 edition of InCheck's Compliance Update vlog. Now, today's vlog will be a little bit different than previous vlogs, as we will be revisiting a select number of important legal updates that took place in 2023. We will be moving at a quick pace today. As always, my intention is just to simply provide you with brief summaries so that you can take relevant alerts back to your teams and legal counsel for further review if necessary. Okay, let's get started with an important update in relation to fair chance laws. The California Office of Administrative Law approved the California Civil Rights Council's amendments to the Fair Employment Housing Act regulations governing employers' use of and consideration of criminal history in employment decisions. There were a lot of changes, so I encourage you to reference the regulations at California Code of Regulations, Title 2, Section 11017.1. Among the numerous changes to the regulations, I would like to quickly emphasize that employers are now required to conduct an initial individualized job-related assessment before the employer issues a pre-adverse action notice, which informs the applicant of the preliminary decision that the applicant's conviction history may disqualify the applicant from the employment that was already conditionally offered. Now, this is significant because historically, many employers have used the pre-adverse action notice as a means to attempt to gather the relevant information that they need to conduct that individualized assessment. Thus, moving forward, employers will need to ensure that they have a process in place by which they can attempt to obtain all information that's necessary to complete the individualized assessment, as well as just complete the individualized assessment before sending out the pre-adverse action notice. The amended regulations took effect on October 1, 2023. Now, the second set of updates in today's vlog will focus on clean slate laws with automatic expungements. California passed a clean slate law, which automatically seals eligible convictions, felony convictions that is, which occurred after January 1, 2005, if the defendant has completed all terms of incarceration, probation, mandatory supervision, post-release community service, or community supervision rather, and parole. And so they have to complete all the terms of the sentencing, and they have to, for a period of 4 years, not be convicted of a new felony offense. The law took effect on July 1, 2023. New York passed a clean slate law, which automatically seals from public access eligible convictions after an individual has satisfied their sentence and the required period of time has passed. Eligible misdemeanor convictions are automatically sealed once 3 years have passed from the defendant's release, and eligible felony convictions are automatically sealed once 8 years have passed from the defendant's release. The law will take effect on November 16th, 2024. Now let's jump over to some pay equity laws that took place in 2023. Colorado passed a law that amended Colorado's pay transparency law. The amendment will require, among other things, employers to provide notice of each job opportunity to all employees on the same calendar day. That notice must include the hourly or salary compensation, a general description of the benefits and other compensation, and the date of application window is anticipated to close. The amendment will take effect on January 1, 2024. Hawaii passed a pay transparency law, which requires employers with 50 more employees to disclose an hourly rate or salary range that reasonably reflects the actual expected compensation in job listings. The law will take effect on January 1, 2024. Illinois passed a pay transparency law, which requires employers with 15 more employees to include a pay scale and benefits for a position in a specific job posting. The law will take effect on January 1, 2025. Minnesota passed a salary history ban law, which prohibits employers from inquiring into, considering, or requiring disclosure from any source the pay history of an applicant for employment for purposes of determining compensation. The law goes into effect on January 1, 2024. And the last pay equity law for today, New York. New York State passed a pay transparency law that requires employers to disclose the minimum and maximum annual salary or the hourly range of compensation, and a job description, if a job description exists, in advertisements for a job, promotion, or transfer opportunity. Excuse me. The law took effect on September 17th, 2023. Last, let's conclude the 2023 updates with laws regarding marijuana. California passed a law that generally prohibits employers from discriminating against a person based upon the person's use of cannabis off the job and away from the workplace, or discrimination based upon an employer-required drug screening test that has found the person to have non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites in their hair, blood, urine, or other bodily fluids. Please note that urine drug testing screens for non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites. As such, employers that are subject to California law should evaluate whether to continue urine marijuana testing and any other testing that screens for non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites before the law takes effect on January 1, 2024. Delaware passed a law that legalized recreational marijuana. Notably, the law does not contain any employment protections for legalized recreational use. The law took effect on April 23rd, 2023. Kentucky passed a law which legalized medical marijuana for certain qualifying medical conditions. Notably, the law does not contain any employment protections for legalized use. The law takes effect on January 1, 2025. Maryland passed Question 4, a constitutional amendment which legalized recreational marijuana. Notably, neither the amendment nor accompanying legislation addresses recreational marijuana use in relation to employment. The amendment took effect on July 1, 2023. Minnesota passed a law which legalized marijuana for recreational use. The law contains several employment protections. Notably, the law generally prohibits employers from refusing to hire a job applicant or discharging or disciplining an employee because the applicant or employee engages in or has engaged in the use and enjoyment of cannabis off the premises of the employer during non-working hours. Additionally, the law generally prohibits employers from requesting or requiring a job applicant to undergo cannabis testing solely for the purpose of determining the presence or absence of cannabis as a condition of employment. The law took effect on August 1, 2023. Ohio legalized adult use recreational marijuana. Notably, the law does not contain any employment protections for legalized use. The law took effect on December 7th, 2023. Washington State passed a law which generally prohibits employers from discriminating against a person in the initial hiring of employment if discrimination is based upon the person's use of cannabis off the job and away from the workplace, or if discrimination is based upon an employer-required drug screening test that has found the person to have non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites in their hair, blood, urine, or other bodily fluids. Employers that will be subject to the Washington law should evaluate whether to continue testing methods that screen for non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites before the law takes effect on January 1, 2024. And last, Washington, D.C., the city council there passed a law which generally prohibits employers from refusing to hire or terminating an individual based upon the individual's use of cannabis, the individual's status as a medical cannabis program patient, or the presence of cannabinoid metabolites in the individual's bodily fluids in a drug test without additional factors indicating impairment. The law took effect on July 13th, 2023. That concludes the vlog for today. I want to thank you, as always, for joining me for this December 2023 edition of InCheck's Compliance Update vlog. And I politely ask that you join me again next time for some more compliance updates. Thank you.